right. Hey, welcome everyone to episode 2 of the Kiss My Wax, Kiss Vinyl podcast. I am one of your 3 co-hosts, Jason Herndon, with Andrew Sgambati on my, I don't know if he's on my left or my right, and Tom Shannon.
Hey.
So we just want to take a second to thank everybody for watching episode 1. The response, we are recording this right now, like 32 hours after the original launch of episode 1. So it's pretty quick, and the response has been amazing. All of the comments have been great, other than the one thumb down on our YouTube page.
Yeah, it's probably an accident.
Yeah. I think we know who that probably was.
Yeah, I think we knew who that probably was. So anyway, appreciate everyone that participated in the homework and suggested records. So this week we're going to go with The Elder, staying out of chronological order, and that's what we'll be discussing today. And let's see, there was one other thing I wanted to. Oh, the bin card dividers that Tom made. I know a few of you at least mentioned that you saw the annotation that I put in. It's at the 1 hour mark. It's on the screen for 10 seconds for you to click on and download. Now, I know a lot of people watch this on their phones. You can't, as far as I know, you can't see annotations on your phone. So
same thing on an iPad, because I didn't
and the same thing on an iPad. So I think you have to be on a desktop of some sort to be able to see the annotation. So because of that, I'll go ahead and on our Facebook page, I'll go ahead and post the link to the first set of bin cards that Tom has made for us. And then, do you have the second set ready to go?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the second set, we'll figure out a way to stick it in to episode 2, and we'll just go from there. So,
does anybody else, like, maybe it's just me, whenever you say episode 1 or episode 2, like, my stomach starts to hurt a little bit because I think of episode 1 and 2 of Star Wars, and I'm like, oh, they're so bad. Oh, they're so bad. Oh, and let's throw out a nice big thanks to Gene for doing our intro, and I think he did a great job on that.
Oh, Gene didn't do that.
Oh, you did that?
Danny did that.
Oh, Danny. Sorry.
Yeah.
So
Gene, Casabuntha.
Okay. All right. Which is another great site. If you're unlike me and like to have cover art for everything on your bootlegs and your DVDs and your CDs, visit Casabuntha. It's awesome.
Yep.
Yeah, he's got some great stuff.
Right. Gene cover design as well. I had reached out to Gene as well because he does stuff for me. For both of those guys do things for me for other sites, and they're fantastic. And they both do great covers. Gene is right in the middle of editing the multicams for the Kiss Cruise 5. And
really?
He is super busy with that lovely bootleg that we're waiting on. So
he took enough time to send me a couple of fonts that we needed for some.
That's right, he did.
Appreciate him doing that.
Yeah, so both of those guys are great, but yeah, Danny did our intro, and we definitely want to thank him for that. So.
Absolutely, it's cool.
Okay. All right, so let's talk about The Elder. Am I the only one of the 3 of us that absolutely love The Elder?
Well,
I don't love it at all.
I don't love it either. But
I love it.
Here's the thing: like, I listened to it for the very first time last week in a long time. Like, I listened to it all the way through, and some of the parts, I'm like, this is just garbage. This is trash, because they got way too self-indulgent for themselves. Remember, they were a dangerous rock band. Like, it was Lock Up Your Daughters, Kiss Is Coming to Town. They were a rock and roll band, and now they're playing. I felt like I was listening to a Styx album. Nothing against Styx, but Styx ain't Kiss. And yes, there are some cool tracks on the album. I really like the song I like The Oath. I think Escape from the Island is cool. I think Doro Pesh did a really great cover of Only You.
Only use my favorite song on that album. Yeah. By Kiss, not by Doro.
I don't hate the music on there. I don't. Okay, but you gotta be in my shoes when this came out. I was 21. Right. All right. I'd been rocking with these guys, and it wasn't the music at all that sent me going. It was the image. It was totally the image. Where did all the hair go? Where the hell did the shoes go? These guys are trying to look like Adam and the Ants, you know. And I hear people talk about that they love Ace's outfit from that time frame. I can't stand it. Looks like somebody took 5 minutes to put that thing together. I mean, when I saw his outfit, I was like, well, they've just given up. You know, just don't even give a shit.
It's an interesting perspective to, our
ages.
Our ages, yes. Thank you.
Yeah.
Because when The Elder came out, I think I was 6 or something like that, and I was at the point to where I was trying to get as many Kiss albums as I could, but I was 6, so I'd have to ask my parents, and then they would go to the local Ben Franklin here in Waverly, I live in a very small town, and we didn't have any kind of anything. We had it was kind of like a 5 and dime store, kind of like a miniature Walmart, and they carried some records, and every now and then they would go up there and buy me a record. Well, they went around that time, and my mom came back with The Elder, and to me, it was a new Kiss record that I had never heard. I put it on the turntable. I have specific memories of getting that record and playing it, and I was so young that I wasn't thinking, man, this doesn't sound like Rock and Roll Over, or whatever I had. This doesn't sound like Destroyer or whatever. I just loved it because it was new Kiss to me, and that has stayed with me from that time on. I listened. Andrew said he just listened to it for the first time.
The first time in a long time, yeah.
Right. First time in a while.
I can't make it through it.
I sit here, I work from home, and I work on this computer that we're doing this on, and my job is sales on this computer, so Spotify is playing in the background. I have every Kiss song on a playlist, and I listen to it. That's what I listen to every day. Kiss all day. So I hear those songs all day, every day. So I probably just listened to The Elder all the way through yesterday. But I love it.
It's too bad.
I love it. Yeah. I love it.
I'm one of those.
Go ahead.
There's parts of it that I like, and I like to see that they'll play some of it every now and then because there's a lot of people that like it. But
sure,
just different. Different.
I'm just one of those Kiss fans, man. That I'm not I don't hate any error. I don't hate. There's not any Kiss. I can name 1 or 2 Kiss songs that I don't like, that I cringe when they come on.
Is one of them I Finally Found My Way to You?
I Finally Found My Way to You is number 1.
I like that song.
Oh my God.
I do. I didn't say I like it as a Kiss song.
Oh, I don't see.
Yeah, that's all right.
I don't even try to imagine Kiss songs as like, well, this is a good song, but it'd be better if it wasn't Kiss. That song to me is not a good song, period. I wouldn't care if, Bonnie Raitt or Coldplay or Styx was doing it,
I got you.
Tom, do you remember when we had the playlist of all those Kiss songs going at the Indie Expo, and whenever Rock and Roll All Night or I Finally Found My Way to You came on, I just kind of nonchalantly walked over to the iPod and I hit skip every time it came on?
Yeah, I Finally Found My Way is one, and I don't particularly care for the Diane Warren song, which I don't even really consider a Kiss song. It's a Diane Warren song with Paul singing. And
Nothing Can Keep Me From Puking on You?
Yeah, Nothing Can Keep Me From You. I don't ever listen to that. And then I have a hard time listening to the song You Wanted the Best.
I like You Wanted the Best.
I think the verses are cool, but the chorus kills me, man.
Wait, so you like Read My Body and crap like that? The street giveth and take it away.
I do.
It's so bad.
I do. I love it. I love it. I don't think it's part of their better catalog, but I do not turn Read My Body off when it comes on. I would also not play it for someone who has never listened to Kiss before because it is a little embarrassing. But Hot in the Shade is the same way. I was 15, 16 years old when Hot in the Shade came out. And I remember going to a store here in Dixon, Tennessee called Xanadu Records and buying it on vinyl and sticking it on my record player as soon as I got home. And I listened to it from beginning to end, and I loved every song on it.
Well, Lick It Up is the last album in the 80s that I could listen to from beginning to end.
Wow.
Animalized, like he's putting a log in a fireplace. There's some songs I can't do it. I just can't do it. And then Asylum, I'm like, oh God. And then Crazy Nights, Mike Brandvold, I'm sorry.
I love Crazy Nights.
I'm sorry, Mike Brandvold. It's just like, and Crazy Nights is just bad. And then Hot in the Shade, they sound like demos.
They are demos.
It's awful.
Yeah.
It's awful.
I used to not like the 80s songs, but I got to the point that actually I like a lot of them now. But man, we're way off topic. Way off topic.
That's okay.
Who cares?
So now let's get back and let's cue the music.
Hey, we can keep it in topic by saying The Elder is part of 80s Kiss.
There you go. It's part of 80s Kiss. So So for all of you people out there that have been to the great Kiss Monster Mini Golf Course in Las Vegas, how many of you actually went up to because there's a door in there that looks like the Elder Door. How many of you went up to the door and took a picture with your hand up there? I know I did. So
I've never been.
You've never been? It's
Nope.
actually
No, I haven't been either.
It's actually really, really cool. I obviously I played the grand opening with Mr. Speed, so it was cool to see that. And then I went a couple months later, and I know it's completely different now because they're just trying to pack it full of all kinds of cool Kiss merchandise. I know Eric Carr's Porsche is in there now that they bought him in 1980 when he joined the band. But there's so much cool stuff in there. There's like a shirt that Vinny wore. There's all kinds of cool posters and all kinds of cool pictures. It's like a mini Kiss museum, and then mini golf. And you're playing mini golf to Kiss, which is awesome, and it's cool. The staff there was always really cool. The couple that owns it, Christina and Patrick. I'm gonna butcher their last name, so I'm really sorry about this. Vigilante. They actually own the whole Monster Mini Golf chain, and there just happens to be a Kiss one. And for anybody out there that did the Axe meet and greet, they know Christina and Patrick. They do that, and sweetest can be people. And the place is really cool. So if you haven't been, you gotta go, and take your picture next to the Elder Door and make it look like this.
Yeah, no, I've never even been to Vegas. So
What?
Oh, get out of here.
no, never been to Vegas. No. I don't have a gambling tendency or anything.
I don't
neither.
either, but I still
Me
like
neither.
to go to Vegas.
It's
Yeah,
cool.
I mean, I'd like to go, but I've never been. So.
It's cool. It's very cool. I wanted to go last year to see Kiss in Vegas. I couldn't make it because I'm always whenever they do those big things like the Kiss cruise, I'm always so busy. But anyway, every time we get off topic, I'm just gonna go back into fanfare.
Great. We can't get off topic anymore because we don't want him doing that the whole episode. So.
So the Elder. So I know the last episode there's a ton of variations of those early albums because there were all kinds of label variations, and especially the first one, it was on Warner Brothers in Casablanca. Then it was obviously laterly printed just on Casablanca. But there's not nearly as many versions of the U.S. Elder as there is of U.S. Kiss. So I think I have both versions of. I only have two versions. I'll say it that way. I have the version.
There you go.
There you go.
Safer.
Always
That's
say that.
safer.
Because
Okay.
Tom's going to go, now wait a second.
So
There's 30. There's actually 36.
So I have the one where it has the Oath listed first, and then I have the one where it has Fanfare listed first. And obviously the one with Fanfare listed first doesn't include Escape from the Island, but the track listing on the actual album is the same. So what other versions are there, Tom?
You don't have the elusive gold stamp promo, right, Tom?
Yeah. We'll talk about that. Yeah. And then we'll be talking at the end of all this about counterfeits
Absolutely.
and bootlegs and authorized. That'll fall in there.
Yep.
Okay. So what I know of as far as from the U.S. catalog on it. All right. First of all, we'll come back and talk about a promo copy. All right.
Okay.
We'll talk about that in a minute. There's basically 3 different versions that were printed simultaneously. This thing didn't sell anything, so it's not like it got pressed.
Right.
This stuff all happened at one time. Okay, so the first one, you've got plastic inner sleeve, and it's going to have printing plant 501 in the lower left-hand corner of the back. Okay.
Okay.
That one is going to have the incorrect track listing on it as well.
That's this one.
All right. The next version of it is going to have a paper lyric sleeve inside. All right.
So to stop you, Tom.
Yeah.
So if I have a 501 with a paper sleeve, I have a Frankenstein. Is that what you're saying?
Let me see. Yeah, maybe not.
Maybe not. Okay.
Maybe not. I will tell you that mine with the paper sleeve has 0701 on the back of it.
Okay. All right.
And if you pull your sleeve back out,
Okay.
pull that inner sleeve back out, and tell me what number you see on that print on that sleeve at the bottom.
0701.
Yeah.
It's a Frankenstein.
Could be.
Maybe
it isn't. My guess would be that it is. That's pretty rare having that paper sleeve.
Right.
All right. Now the rarest of those is the 3rd edition of it. It is going to have a paper lyric sheet in it, not a sleeve, a sheet. And there's no printing plant number on the jacket or on that sheet.
I've never owned that in 30, 40
and
years.
you know what? I'm going to tell you what I think the deal is with that. Is this it? No, it's a sleeve. Let's see. Sleeve. Sorry about that.
That's all right. It's just guys talking anyway, right?
I know, man. I know, but I had this stuff organized. I apologize.
I'm actually mildly
Okay.
offended that there's an AC/DC album in the background.
Well, we can talk about that stuff too if you want. There's a lot of cool stuff back there. All right. Okay. So pull your lyric sleeve up again.
Yeah.
And show the Kiss logo on it.
Unfilled in.
Yellow, right?
Yeah, yellow. Oh, yours is black. I see that.
Yeah. So
I got the plastic sleeve
here's my theory. Here's my theory on this.
Thanks for showing
I actually got this from a buddy overseas. I have never heard of anybody. This is a U.S. pressing. Okay, there's no two ways about it. I have never heard of anybody in the United States finding one of these in the United States. I think they pressed them, sent them overseas. That's what I think happened with them. That's why we never find that thing. But it's just rare as can be.
Interesting. Yeah, I've never seen it in my whole.
Yeah. I mean, I really doubted it until I had it in my hands. All right, so we've got those, and then of course we've got the 2014 pressing. So that's a hand label number 2, and it's going to have the UPC on the back. We still got to talk about it, Andrew.
You got to, man.
No, you know what? Do you know what? Every time I talk to you, and then I go and I see one, and I go, I should pick these up.
You should pick them up.
You should pick them up. There they are. They're beautiful.
You should. Yeah. And that's got the paper lyric sleeve in it also. All right. Now, let's talk about the promo of this thing, because I'm going to tell you, this gets me fired up. I searched for years and years and years, because there's got to be a promo of this thing. All right.
Got to be.
I asked, and I learned some stuff along the way. I learned that, God bless his soul, because he's passed away. Bill Coyne didn't know shit about the pressings on these records. All right, he thought he would talk about them, but he'd tell somebody one thing and somebody else another thing. But he was positive that they would have done promotional copies, but he wasn't positive they would have been marked. Okay, who's the other guy I talked to? Who did Kiss and Sell? C.K. Lynn, Chris Lynn. Talked to him. He's the same way. He said, we did videos, promotional videos for it. He said, so I know, he said, we spent over $250,000 doing those. He said, I know we would have put out promotional copies, but again, maybe they weren't marked. And, the very first copy that I ever got, it was this one. It's, got it at this place again. I talked about it last week. We had a store here in town. No, it's this one. It's called Cut Corner Records, and that's what they sold, was records with cut corners and promo copies and all that. But I just bought it for like $3 or whatever, and so I've had it forever. It was my very first one. All right, so everybody's heard of backstage auctions, right? All right. So they had a lot. About a year or two ago, and it was 3 promo records: Creatures of the Night, Lick It Up, and The Elder. All right, I know Jacques. Y'all probably know Jacques, right?
Yes.
And he's been very kind with me, putting up with a lot of nonsense as I've asked him questions about lots that he's had.
And that's Kiss fandom. All we do is just obsess over nonsense, nuances, and minutia.
Exactly, but I'm trying to set a record here. You know what I'm saying? Trying to understand.
Oh, I see what you did
happened
there. You said.
I didn't mean to do that. I'm just trying to figure out what happened here. What is the story, And so I will tell you this much. So here's the record that I got in that lot. I will tell you for a fact that Creatures of the Night is a dead-on promo. I've since sold it, because I had a copy. It's gold stamped on the back. There's no markings on the label. That's just the way they were. The Lick It Up, I was going to sell it because I've got one. Well, it turns out there's 2 different promo versions of it. So I've got both of those now. And this third one, this lady that can sign this stuff, she was a huge programmer. And I tried to dig the information up. I've got it here somewhere. Whenever it ever gets sold, it'll go with it. But just let me just say that she is not a Kiss fan. This is somebody that would have gotten tons of records, and there's no reason for this to have been anything but what came from the record company. And you want to know how much I think this is worth? How rare I think this is, and how much I think it's worth? I think it's worth probably $10.
Yeah.
Because that's the only mark on it right there, buddy.
Yeah.
I have probably had a promo copy of it since the first day it came out.
Probably.
And, you know, we've seen some stuff. I have seen faked up gold stamps on these things. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'll call bullshit when I see something like that.
I agree totally.
Because I'm not having it. Now, somebody may have may have inadvertently bought something like that. But, you know, man, if you say you've got that, you better prove it. You better prove it. Now, I don't know if both of y'all, I'm sure, Jason, you saw, did you see that faked up Elder promo label that showed up about a year ago?
Yes.
I saw that.
Yes.
Yeah. And, you know, I don't know what the deal was on that, but I can't remember if he ran that high resolution image of it for everybody to see, but I saw it and it's faked. There's no two ways about it. I mean, I do enough Photoshop stuff that I can tell you when something doesn't match in, and the guy could have made it match in as a hell of it. So yeah, I guess somebody saved their $600 or whatever, but man, there's crooks out there. There's crooks
They're
out
everywhere.
there. So that's my stance on it. If somebody wants to prove me wrong, if they want to come up and show me a label that's promotional marked, or they want to show, I'm going to tell you right now, if you show me one that's gold stamped, even if it looks like it's the right gold stamp, I ain't buying it.
Right.
You know, and I mean that literally. I would not give you $10 for it.
I mean, the reality is we would have seen dozens of them or more if they were out there.
Yeah.
Way before last year, you know.
Yeah.
So
Exactly. You know, I use this phrase: there are no unicorns.
Right.
People want to think there are, but
Kinda
you know,
like
they're
those,
just not there.
Those creatures of the night that people are like, oh, with Vinny only sold in Brazil. Shut up.
We are going to talk about that in a bit, and I'm going to tell you, I'm just going to lay it out there the way I feel about that stuff.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah. I agree.
anyway, so as far as from the U.S., that's all I'm aware of. So yeah, not very many versions. You know, I can confirm that the one with the lyric sheet does exist. If anybody's a hardcore collector, I'd ask my friends over in Europe is what I would do.
Okay.
Because that's probably where they dropped. And, you know, beyond that, it's an interesting collectible.
Yeah. All right. Are we going to talk about any of the international releases at all, or are we just
Sure, man. Yeah. Well, I don't have very many because I don't like the album, but you know, I've got some. I know you've got some, Jason. Show us what you got.
Oh no, I've got Japan and Germany.
Right. I was going to mention Japan because that has the correct track listing, right?
Right.
Is that the only country that has the correct track listing?
No. Well, I should have said that one. Which one is it? The one with my copy with the paper sleeve. My original copy with the paper sleeve has got the correct track listing on the back. Mm-hmm. It doesn't mean they all came that way. So that with mine, that's the one that's 0701. So yeah, Jason, whoever threw away the garbage cover from that one you had, that was the correct track listing on that.
Yeah.
But now I've got this one. This one's from Norway.
Oh yeah, with the poster.
Yeah.
Checking eBay right now.
There's also, you'll pay and you won't find it on there. There's also
not checking eBay right now,
and you won't find it on there.
Yeah, there's also almost the same poster except for they flipped it. So let's see, this one got Paul's eye is correct. So the one that's from either Switzerland
that's so cool.
Whichever he's flipped on that one. This is a really nice one. I mean, we got an awful lot of nice guys. We've got an awful lot of nice guys in our group. I'm gonna tell you that.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't think I've sold a single album since I've got on Facebook. But man, I've been sending records all over the place. And
just doing trades?
Just doing trades.
That's great. That's great. That's great. Find anything, Andrew?
I'm still looking right now.
Oh, you're not gonna find that poster. He meant in your collection. I've got this real crappy looking Argentina copy, but from what my friends in Argentina tell me, Pablo, they said that's about typical. So
yeah. I need to hit Pablo up for some records, see if he's got any.
Oh, dude, I don't know if y'all can see him back there. He said alive back there. He set me up nice. I had a really trashed out set.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, he's a great guy.
It'll take you forever to open his packages, though.
So I just did a quick search on eBay. The only cool thing I found is that that clear, people call it acetate, but it's not, that clear poster. There's 2 of them up there right now.
Yeah. Those are pretty cool. I've never had that.
That's
poster.
I have it setting right here on top of my speaker.
You got it rolled, or you got it?
It's rolled. See at the end of my fingertip?
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
right there in the brown crinkled.
All right. So does it have coffee? Coffee cup stains on it because you're probably drinking a cup of your coffee.
I never knew. And I'm sure somebody can probably tell me. I'm not sure what would be the best way to frame that. To be able to enjoy it.
You probably couldn't dry mount it.
The problem is, Tom, I have about a good 400 or 500 Kiss posters.
Yeah.
I got about 100.
And I'm in a 10 by 10 foot room right
now. That's why I sold off probably 3/4 of my posters. I just realized I wasn't ever going to enjoy them. Yeah,
it's nice.
Yeah,
never been hung.
That's the paper that came with it, right?
That's the paper it came in. Yeah,
that's what I thought.
Nice.
Never been hung.
Oh, here you go. I do have one advertised. Man, I don't have crap as far as magazines or anything for this because they just didn't do anything. So there's a nice little billboard ad.
That's cool.
I don't know which billboard it came out of because I'm real bad. I'll cut these things out. I don't care about any of it but the Kiss stuff.
Me too.
Now I have to admit, the hoarder in me, I've got a stack about that deep of different ads out of there for different groups that I think I'll be able to sell one day, and of course I won't.
Right.
My daughter will throw them away, but they're there if I ever want to do it.
From my record store days, I have bins and bins and bins of promo flats of every band. I have so many Britney Spears promo flats back here in my storage building that I'm like, one day.
Yeah.
She's going to die or something, and I'm going to be able to sell that. And I'm never going to be able to sell that stuff.
No, it's a nice thought, though. Nice thought. All right. So what other vinyl you guys got?
That's it. I have the least amount of music from the Elder. I actually have more copies of Monster on vinyl than I have of music from the Elder.
I just have the German, both the original German. Both the original German and the 2014 German.
Yeah. That's cool. Now, and I actually do, and I never do pull these out because I don't know if y'all saw that down there or not. Never mind. I'm not going to put it down there.
Oh, I saw what it is. It's a flat.
Yeah, there's a German Kisteria box down there. And it's got all that, got all that stuff in it.
Was that custom made, Tom?
Yeah. He did a great job on it too. He did a great job.
I saw those. Those are beautiful. Those are beautiful.
That trade though, man, he's a really good guy. Okay, and I'm not going to mention his name because he doesn't, for whatever reason, he doesn't like people talk about those too much.
Right.
He's a real good guy. He did nothing wrong. Man, I sent him. I think it was a full set of the U.S. reissues, along with a full set of the exclusives. And I sent those over in the box that Universal sends those to me in. Okay. So this is a super heavy duty shipping box.
Right.
And it basically holds the records, the corners are like 2 inches from the edges. This thing holds it in there.
That's the way our boxes are at work.
You know exactly what I'm talking about.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
You tell me if you've ever seen this, because I was just like, it cost me a fortune, man. Somebody body slammed that box somewhere along the line and collapsed the bottom supports in it. Every single record in there got dinged up.
Oh my gosh!
One. I had to send a guy several $100s, man. And again, it wasn't his fault. It's just like, it made me sick. I pride myself on packing stuff. You wouldn't think, if you ever saw one of these boxes, Andrew, you would never in your life think there's any chance that somebody could damage something like that. But
right.
That's why I hate leaving it to chance sometimes. For example, I purchased a Kiss garbage pail off of Three Sides of the Coin, Mark Cicchini, and he was like, "Yeah, just pay for shipping," and I was like, "It's going to cost you a lot to ship that." was like, I'll just drive up there and I'll just come and get it. So I drove it up there, and when I got there, he left it in his basement. He goes, you could bring it up the basement steps. And I go, why? He goes, because if you trip and fall, it's on you.
That's right. That's right.
So luckily it made it out of his house and back to mine in one piece. And it's the best one I've ever seen.
I'm sitting right now waiting on a package with 2 records in it from Iceland that has been sitting in New York City in customs since November 11th.
I saw you post that.
I got something coming from Spain.
You gotta thank ISIS.
You don't know how bad this is, Andrew. You don't know what's coming.
Is it creatures?
It's both of them.
It's both of them.
Both of them.
I got Lick It Up, but
that's funny because I have another version of creatures coming. That's funny that you have creatures coming too.
Did you get it? Did you get it from the contact that?
I did.
Oh, good for you, man.
I did. I'm gonna have to be honest with you though. When it comes in, the creatures, I'm gonna do something that I would never think I was ever gonna do to a record. I'm probably gonna have to restore it. It's got one of those plastic name tags cover, and it looks like something else. And I'll tell you, I'll show it when I get it. And I was going to keep quiet till I get it, and I still may not get it. I mean, the damn thing may be lost somewhere. But that thing is so rare. I think it's about the only record I've ever seen that I would ever probably try to do a restoration on it.
Well, man, if I had the cash that he wanted for it, I would have bought it from him.
Yeah, it wasn't this one. It wasn't this one. He found it after I got a hold of him.
Okay, all right.
It's not in good shape. It's not in great shape.
Well, the one he emailed me about, he said was in great shape, and he wanted I don't know, I think $250 shipped or something. I just didn't have it, but I'm glad you were able to secure one.
Yeah, well, I ended up. I'll tell you what I gave the guy. I gave the guy $160 shipped, so I figure I got $130 in the thing.
See, I would have given him $150, but he wasn't coming down, so he must have had a really nice one.
Yeah, I'm sure he had a nice one.
Yeah. So,
but anyway.
So,
well,
nobody has it.
I got some singles we can talk about.
Let's do that. Let's do singles.
And then I've got a really nice segue into the conversation about counterfeits and stuff.
Let's do it.
Wait, but hold on. Let's talk about the eye video that was put up for sale, and that's up for sale again.
Is it?
It's
and see, I can't believe y'all didn't catch on to that when I told you that the guy with Kiss and Sell.
CK Lent.
Yeah, Chris Lent. When he was saying that he was positive that they did have promotional copies of the album because they'd spent $250,000 on promo videos.
Interesting, yeah. How about that?
Yeah.
They must have spent it all on World Without Heroes because they had to have him cry so many times.
Yeah.
that
Probably had to put up money in it.
No,
so much money.
It was expensive paper mache back then that they made ice crystals with. So
yeah.
So
well, that's interesting. So he didn't burn it.
No.
He didn't.
No, he retracted that. He just said.
I saw where he tried to play it off like he didn't mean it.
Right.
And I don't know. I've only met the man one time, but I'm gonna call bullshit on that. He meant it when he said that.
Did you guys?
Nobody's gonna kid about something like that.
Did you guys see the image that somebody posted on the FAQ? It was a screen capture of Gene crying from the World Without Heroes. Fire behind it. There was fire, and then there was a tape in the fire. I thought it was great.
Yeah.
I thought that picture was great.
That's great. Speaking of FAQ, I want to thank Julian.
Yeah, it's Ace Fury did that.
Yeah. I do want to thank Julian Gill for he stickied a link to our episode 1 up on an FAQ, and we got a lot of views from that and a lot of new subscribers. So Julian, thank you. I want to have him on with us as a special guest sometime in the future. I've already discussed what record he wants to talk about.
It's probably going to be Kiss Alive. It's probably going to be Kiss Alive.
It is going to be Kiss Alive. So I'd like to have Julian on whenever we do Kiss Alive, okay? Because he has 76
probably
copies.
Be yeah.
So we'll have Julian on then. So thanks, Julian. No one has any packages to open or anything?
I don't, man.
I'm waiting on a Creatures of the Night. That
I got a second package yesterday, but I couldn't wait till I bought a second one of these.
Oh, see, I have that.
And I have my sealed one back here. Right there. But I bought a second one so I can open it because that one's not open. And I got it from my work at a super employee discount deal. I only paid $120 for it. So
not bad.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So anyway, that I didn't open it on the air, but
be sure to read that booklet, okay?
Oh, okay, I will.
Oh yeah, and it's got an incorrect. There's something incorrect in there because it says there's a live version or something that there isn't.
It says what now?
What's the? I'm gonna have to get the book, but there's something that says it's incorrect.
Yeah. There are a couple of I know what you're talking. I didn't have nothing to do with that.
We blame Tom Shannon.
Yeah, no, nobody asked me to write anything, so that's.
Well, that's the first time I've ever actually seen the singles that are inside. Yesterday,
They're cool, aren't they?
So cool.
Excellent. They're
cool.
hard stock cardboard.
Yeah. Did you open up the mask yet?
I have not opened the mask. I pulled
cool.
each of the 4 singles out and looked at the vinyl themselves, but I didn't pull the mask out. But I will. I'll get it. I'll have a day of worship one day when I have.
You need to trade. You need to trade me something one day. I've got a set of them unfolded. Oh
wow!
Not too many sets of those.
Okay,
Tom,
we'll talk.
Tom, I'll trade you a Mr. Speed T-shirt for those.
I've heard what you've got, and I think you can do better than a Mr. Speed T-shirt. Yeah,
2 Mr. Speed T-shirts.
All right, singles, Tom.
All right. So the only single off this, as far as the U.S. releases, now there's some overseas stuff, and I will show one of those. But anyway, the only single off the record for the U.S. was "World Without Heroes" with Dark Light. All right, but actually there's some variations to it. Okay, so they basically look. It appears like so far I've only seen 2 plants that they press these out of, and one of the things that you'll find, you'll never be able to see this, but on the later Filmworks label pressings, there's always a number, almost always a number on the 45s. You don't see it as much on the albums, although it is there.
That was pretty clear.
Yeah, was it good?
Yeah.
Good. That I can't read it in front of me right now. That denotes a pressing plant.
Right.
Okay. And so if you really get into this stuff, and unfortunately I've been drug into it, you want to have all the different pressing plants for these. But it appears like there's only 2 that I know of so far for this. So we've got plant number 26 and we've got plant number 19. All right. So as far as the stock variations of it, there you go. There's 2 variations. But this has got one of the most unique Kiss promo singles I've ever seen. The plant number 26 that I just showed you, the marking that says it's promotional is over here on the side, which is pretty typical. It's usually on one side or the other. But the one for plant 19, I don't have this. I need to find a copy. It actually says promotion copy, not for sale, across the top of it. I've never seen a Kiss 45 like that. So anyway, so there's your variations on those.
Okay.
And of course, the one out of the box set. Can't forget that,
Forget it.
And then I've got a nice one here, man. Y'all ever seen this?
No, that's cool.
Yeah, man. You would think that's really cool. You would think it's really cool, wouldn't you? So this is I the Oath, and this is called a San Remos sleeve. Okay. Do you guys remember the Studio 54 where Ace didn't show up?
Mm-hmm.
That was for the San Remo Festival in Italy. They were broadcasting that over there. And so they made this special sleeve for this. And this sleeve is, this is hard to find. Here's the vinyl. And this sleeve, it's a booger to find. I mean, there's not a lot of copies, And so I'm sitting there on eBay one day, and I had just got a bonus and got a wild hair up my ass, and this thing was up around 300 and something bucks, and I said, buy it, and I got it. And about 2 years later, I found out some bitch is counterfeit. Okay.
There's our segue.
Yes, it is. That's your segue. I do not consider myself to be an unsavvy collector.
Right.
I had this thing in my hands for 2 solid years before I knew it was a counterfeit. And it's fake as shit. Excuse my French there.
Tell us how you know.
This thing has got, if you could see the construction of this thing, it's nice.
It looks real to me.
It's too thick. They tell me that they're super thin. And this thing is just the opposite. And when I got it, I'm going, hey man, I can feel the ring wear. This has been around forever. And yeah, it's fake. It's fake. So, that is not the the reason why I hate counterfeiters so much, but I hate counterfeiters. Okay. So who wants to start off the conversation about authorized versus counterfeit versus bootleg versus pirated presses?
Well, I mean, it's all in the verbiage. I mean, obviously, counterfeit would mean something that was an officially released product that was privately printed, not officially. So, and this is why that bill had so much stuff put in those albums, because you couldn't counterfeit and I tell you couldn't counterfeit the Rock and Roll Over sticker.
That's right.
But if you had gotten an album that was without that, that was without the counterfeit. That was a counterfeit. So, I mean, I guess it was a way for Kiss. I don't even know how they would do this pre-SoundScan, how they would track their sales like that. I guess it was more for a fan, as if you knew as a fan, if you'd gotten the album, you would know that it was a counterfeit.
Sales were different. In back then, they had, Billboard had a staff of people that sat and they called every record store in the country, and they asked the managers, how many copies of this did you sell? How many copies of this did you sell? And that's why you can't depend on any Billboard charts back then, because lots of people were lying, or being paid to lie to up the quantity sold. Obviously we know RIA certifications are shipments, so they know how many they ship. They just want to know how many got into people's hands, and that was all word of mouth through the store managers or the chain managers. So
yeah. Well, I have to back up on one thing you said though, Jason, because and counterfeits back in the day is different than counterfeits today.
Right?
The counterfeits were coming off the same assembly line.
Right.
And what a coin knew was, we're giving you X number of love guns to put in these records. We better see the sales for that. What he didn't know was how many more did they press above what they had for guns. Now, I told y'all last week, the very first record I ever bought, Rock and Roll Over, it was a counterfeit.
Right.
There was no sticker in it. My copy of Alive 2 that my dad gave me for Christmas that I still got, counterfeit, no tattoos. I had no idea they were supposed to even be in there. So that's one kind of a counterfeit. Okay.
Right.
And let me ask you this, Andrew, do you, and I'm not picking on you. I'm just asking questions, because you see there's a lot of contention when the subject comes up, and I just try to use logic. Okay. So do you consider a $3 bill to be a counterfeit bill? U.S. government does.
Well,
the U.S. government does. If you pass a $3 bill, if you pass a $300 bill or a $200 bill, okay, if somebody's dumb enough to take it from you, the U.S. government considers that as a counterfeit. Right. I consider that a counterfeit. The same as I also consider a $5 bill. So you're too young to remember all this stuff. People would cut the corners off of $20 bills and put them on $5 bills and pass them off. Now, I don't know what they did with the other bill, but that's what they would do. That's still a counterfeit. Okay. And basically to me, a counterfeit. Well, let me start at the top with authorized, work my way down. And again, you guys jump in, you tell me if you got a different opinion on it.
Absolutely.
Okay? Yeah. Because I'm wide open. I'm wide open for somebody to prove me wrong.
But before we get into that, I was just thinking about that whole running extra, copies of the records off back in the 70s. I don't know if I feel comfortable calling that counterfeit, because it was being done at the knowledge of everyone involved in the official side of things. I think of those as more of free goods. They probably did runs of free goods to you don't think so?
Some of them were probably free goods.
Go back and read some old Billboard magazines from the 70s. That's okay. Either one of y'all know anything about Tie Beanie Babies?
Yeah. Well, I mean,
okay,
a little bit. Yeah.
I got 600 of them here, probably, maybe more than that. My daughter was at the age, when those things came out. Tie constantly was going after the counterfeiters of these things. The counterfeiters of them was the factory that was making them.
Oh, okay, all right.
They were not paying Tie the money.
Gotcha.
Just like whichever pressing plant it was. Yeah, I mean, come on, man. We all know the mob was tied up so much in that. So there you go. There's where that is.
I stand corrected, and
Yeah.
I agree. So,
Yeah.
all right,
Yeah. Now promos they didn't get paid for. That's a different deal.
Right.
All right. So an authorized, let's frame this towards, because this is vinyl we're talking about. So let's talk about records, 45s and LPs. An authorized recording is released by the band or their record label. Okay, the band or the label is compensated financially, and I say that like that for a reason, because I realize there's some instances the band is not compensated for it. The band Kiss got paid for none of the promo LPs that went out.
No one ever does.
That's why they're marked. Well, Jason's in the business. He knows.
Right.
They don't. You don't get paid a royalty on those.
No, it's built in the contract.
Yeah, but somebody's getting compensated and all that. A bootleg, and let me say this right away, I think some people think I'm an anti-bootleg guy, and I am not. I am not. I don't really collect them because, here, number one, I mean, I'll always be honest, just like with the Elder, I think most bootlegs sound like crap. but I am very open to anybody saying, Tom, you need to look at this one. You need to look at this one. You need to look at this one. That way I'm not paying my good money for a shitty sounding record. And I just know I'm getting good stuff. I just bought, a 10-pack of these recently released bootlegs. They're not reissues from my understanding. They've been, repressed and all that. But anyway, so I don't have a problem with bootleggers. Okay. But it's just got a weird name is all. So bootleg is a recording, in my opinion, that's never intended by the legal rights holder to be released. And most often their concert recordings or demos. Now, Jason, I know you're way more into that than I am. What do you have anything you add to that? Or
that's a bootleg.
Yeah.
That's a bootleg.
Okay.
That's a bootleg.
So spot on.
Yeah. And again, I got.
But just remember too, a bootleg, it's also a private concert recording, or it could be a concert recording that was a soundboard, never intended for major release, but somehow ended up in fan circles. It's a professional recording. What I mean by professional, it means it was mixed by the sound engineer that night.
Yeah.
Was never intended for release, still a bootleg.
Yeah. And
Unauthorized.
Unauthorized.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. All right. Now, counterfeit. And then after I talk about this for just a second, I'll talk about another area that I think slides underneath this. Okay.
Right.
Counterfeit. All right. In my opinion, that's a recording that is released by someone other than the legal rights holder. And I mean big and, it is intended or perceived as an authorized release to unsavvy collectors. Okay. Or in my case, a savvy one.
I completely agree.
Producers, and I will not back off this. And if anybody gets offended by this, I don't care. The producers and initial sellers of these are, for the most part, they're thieves and they're market manipulators.
I agree.
All right. And here's some examples of them. That Vinnie Vincent Creatures from Brazil. I'm telling you, I've had people tell me that was not put out there as if it was the real deal. That's bullshit.
That is a lie.
Yes, it's a lie. I watched it for I can't tell you how long. And yeah, everybody. Oh, this was released as a promo for the tour. Oh, really? I guess in the box set that they actually did that for that Brazil tour that I've got. Yeah, that must not have been the real thing. All right, Sonic Boom. Any color other than blue, red, green, purple, or black. Any other color is a counterfeit. And I have to tell you, I have no proof, but and I have a couple copies, but don't tell me that they didn't go on and print up the other colors too. They had to have. Seen these love guns that are coming out now? We got
the whites and the
red and every other color. And I said the other day, and I'll stick by this, they're going to do the whole damn catalog.
Yeah.
They're going to do the whole catalog. It's already given they're going to do Greatest Kiss. I don't think it's going to damage it. That's why I hang on so tight to these insert sheets because they're so rare, and I'll be damned if they're going to include those in there. Any of the Alive series picture discs, they're all counterfeits. They say they're made in Mexico. They weren't. They're made in Europe. Yeah. Now, I have some. I've never paid a dime for one. I traded for them. But, they're put out there, the originals too, a single disc of that,
The
all that
10-inch
crap.
one, the 10-inch ones, is that what you're
Yeah, yeah. Any of those 10-inch ones, except for Hot in the Shade. Any 10-inch, as far as I'm aware, is a counterfeit.
Yep. I agree.
And something that's really starting to be a problem are these individually cut picture discs. Okay, I don't know if people realize this, but you can cut records at your house.
Yep, absolutely.
You know, and they're doing it, and you know, people are paying a lot of money for them. I don't get it. You know, if you want to waste your money, that's fine. Do I think that Vinny cover looks cool? Yeah, it's okay. It's kind of cool. Well, I would personally never give you more than $15, $20 for
That's
it.
what I was going to. It's a $20 record at best.
Yeah.
Not a $400 record. So.
Yeah. And it amazes me the people that fight for, oh no, this is value. I think they're probably the guys selling for the most part, but
right.
Could be.
That's my take on that stuff. You know, I try to hold my tongue a lot, but I'm gonna tell you right now, if I catch somebody that I know is producing those counterfeits, they're off our site. I mean, I don't know what else, you know, the deal will be, but
they're absolutely, there's no room for counterfeiters on the site.
Yeah.
Bootlegs are okay. Bootlegs are okay.
Bootlegs are fine. Bootlegs are fine. I think bootlegs bring it's an interesting aspect that they bring.
I think what we're saying here, Andrew, is that, you know, if you want to buy those counterfeits, just make sure you know what you're buying. If you want to show them on the site, just, you know that you're showing, hey, I bought this. It's a cool, you know, variation of the record, but it's not official.
Don't come on arguing that it is.
Right.
But it's like those people that purchase those Lick It Ups with the makeup cover. It's a counterfeit.
Yeah. But what Tom is saying is if we catch someone that is trying to fool and steal from our members on the page, they're gone.
They're gone.
Yeah.
I know.
They're gone.
Yeah.
So because I mean, there's plenty of counterfeit stuff that I know is counterfeit that I think looks cool and I think would be cool in my collection. I believe you were talking about a counterfeit earlier, right? That you have in your collection, Tom.
Which one?
The German Casteria box.
Oh yeah, the whole damn box is. Yeah,
the whole damn box is a counterfeit. So,
good point.
But it looks cool as hell.
Yeah. And I knew what it was. I knew what it was.
And he wasn't trying to pass it off as you know, this really came out. You know, so
yeah. Well, like I say, I've got a bunch of the Alive picture discs. They're cool looking.
Yeah.
I've got a Dress to Kill. There's a weird one right there. So you know. Was it Sturma or Stemra?
Sturma.
Yeah. So they released everything up through
Asylum, I think.
Didn't do any of the Alive stuff. Didn't do Double Platinum. Didn't do Dress to Kill. Have no idea why they didn't. And somebody else stepped in and pressed them a few years later.
I didn't.
Yeah, all those Dress to Kills. They're counterfeits.
Wow.
Yeah. The rest of them are authorized. But no, the Dress to Kill is a counterfeit.
I had no idea.
Yeah. And the only reason why I know that is years ago I bought a picture disc book. This is back. When did those come out? Mid '80s. This book.
I think they come out in like 87 or 88 is when they came out.
Yeah, that sounds about right. And so I bought this book in like the early '90s, and this guy, he had every picture disc in the world. I mean, not Kiss, everything. And he said right, didn't think. Yeah, they didn't do Dress to Kill, and so there you go.
That's interesting. So
yeah,
on those picture discs, is it true that if they're numbered, they're generally the real ones, and if they're not numbered, they're generally not?
You hear different stuff, and you know, I had somebody ask me the other day, and you know, if somebody offered me, say, the first record on picture disc, and it didn't have the numbers, we'll say it did have the numbers, and I was in the market to buy it, I'm figuring I'm gonna have to come out at least $125. I don't know what they sell for because I don't.
That's about right.
Yeah, but if you were to offer me one that didn't have the number on it, I would buy it, and I'd give you about $30 for it.
Right. Okay.
Now I may be wrong, but to me, there's too much of a risk that it's not the real deal.
I agree. Totally.
If nothing else, they overpressed what they said they were pressing.
And they didn't number them. Good point.
Yeah.
Never thought about that option. They overpressed them. They couldn't number them. It's interesting.
Yeah.
I know every speaking of overpressing, all of the Ace Frehley Space Invader, or maybe it was Anomaly. One of those, Brookvale Records got the rights to do those, and they were all supposed to be numbered and limited. I think we might have I'm not sure if my company pressed them or not, but they were all overpressed and all overrun, and you can find over numbers over the pressing number.
Yeah. I've seen that.
They overnumbered them, so
yeah, you'd almost prefer that, you know.
Well, you're right. Well, you know, to be fair, in pressing, generally speaking, when a pressing plant is pressing something, they press a minimum of 300 pieces, because that's what the pressing that's what the machine generally, the amount of pellets that you put in, it usually runs about 300. So if someone's wanting to do a 200 press, which you almost never see, you're probably going to have 100 more copies of it out there.
Yeah. Can you imagine being the guy that's sitting there hand doing those numbers? And they just handed you all these boxes. Here, number these up. What the crap's going on?
He's thinking he's done. He's got a whole nother pile. He's like, son of a bitch.
Hey, I'll tell you, and it's just, again, just to prove I'm not a bad guy or anything. There is actually a counterfeit record that I've seen here lately that, if I find it for the right price, I'll buy it. Remember the cassette Killer Cuts, or no, it wasn't Killer Cuts. What was it? It was the
Universal Presents. Universal
there you
Presents.
go. Yeah, there you go.
I've seen that too. I tried to snag one of those too.
Yeah. To me, that's kind of cool.
I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it in a couple of months, but there was a few of them on eBay a few months ago. Yeah, I would love to have them
on there. But that's what I'm saying. Yeah, they're not coming across to me as trying to act like those are real, right. Or a work of art. I see that all the time now. They get those Brazilian solos, work of art.
Yeah,
it's a record, man, with a sticker over the label.
Yeah,
I've seen those. That's
what it is. Yeah. Is that the one with the solo album posters as the cover?
Yeah.
With an OBI over it?
Yeah.
Those look cool. So.
Well, they do, but again, I ain't paying a lot of money for it.
Oh no, not at all.
I'll make some. Y'all want some? I'll make them up. I mean, I don't know. That's I don't know. You start getting into homemade stuff like that. I know these guys. They try hard and it kind of looks good, but it's still some guy making them.
Yeah. I'm not going to pay a lot of money for it. The prime example is the German originals. Those were.
See, the problem with that, I'll speak hypothetically. The problem that I've got with that is if somebody said, "Hey, I made these. If 3 or 4 of you want one, I'll make you one."
Right.
That's one thing, and then the next thing you see is an ad on eBay with 100 available.
Yep.
All right, so
go
make your money somewhere else.
I agree totally, man. I agree totally. So.
But, yeah. I told you I wouldn't hold back.
I love it.
But,
all right.
But
the Elder?
On the Elder, there really isn't. I mean, as far as other countries, I know we've talked about some other countries and some cool inserts in other countries, but there really isn't. This is one of those records that there wasn't a whole lot of different variations of that. So,
you know what is a weird variation though that you see from the Elder is other records with that Elder hand on it, and I should have thought about that. Should have dug some of them out.
Isn't there a Mexican?
Yeah, there's
for
sure the Mexican Killers is, and then man, I'm thinking I've got something else, but maybe not. Seems like that hand shows up a couple other places too.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, it bombed everywhere, man. It wasn't just here.
It wasn't good.
They're not. No,
sorry, Jason, it wasn't good.
Oh, I don't care. I love it.
Well, and one of the things I forgot to mention, and we'll talk about it when we ever get to the podcast on it, but there was no repressing of that in 85. As far as I can tell, there was no repressing of it in 83, 84. I have yet to, if anybody's got one, I'd love to see it. If anybody's got a US pressing with a Filmworks label on it.
Well, I will say this. Hold on, because I have going on to the great KissMonster.com website, which is also run by our friend Julian Gill of the Kiss FAQ. If you actually go on there and you look into go into the discography page and then you click on the Elder, it lists a Casablanca Polygram USA reissue. It lists a catalog number of 824-153-1/4. There's a US reissue 85, and there's also a US reissue May of 89.
Well, I would like to see them.
I've never seen them either.
I can tell you that I can show you locations that show a catalog number for a cassette of the originals. And there ain't none.
No.
I'm not saying that there's not those pressings of the Elder. I'm saying I haven't seen it. Nobody I've talked to has seen it. And, I would love it if somebody would show them to me. It'd be great.
I mean,
that's your homework, people.
Yeah, that's your homework. Show us that. I mean, I know I don't have, and I said in the last episode too, so I'm just going to say it on every episode until I fucking get one. I don't have a Peter Criss 85 polygram. I've seen them. I just don't have one. I've never even seen one of these. I've never seen them. I have all the other ones. I've never seen one for Elder.
No.
All right. So that's your next other homework. Send Andrew a copy of the 85 Peter Criss.
I'll pay for it. I look every day for this thing. I can't find it.
Yeah. That and a Live 2 mispress, right?
We're not going to talk about that today.
For less than $350.
Yeah. Oh, well, now you're going to get picky. You want to get it. You want to get it for free, huh?
Oh, yeah, it's out there. He's had plenty of chances to buy it. He just doesn't want to.
That's not true. Because, here's the thing. I'll gladly pay $200 for that.
Okay.
Gladly.
I think that's a fair.
You'll get one for that.
That's a fair. Yeah.
Would I like it for $150? Sure. Do I want to find a bargain? Absolutely.
Yeah.
If someone said $200, I would be like, you want $150? You don't? All right, let's do $175. Call it even.
Well, then you've missed a couple because there's been a couple that have gone.
Well,
there was
one that went for $190, and I was busy when the auction ended, and that's why I couldn't get it. So I had it watched, and I was gonna. It was like at $24 for like 4 days, and I go, I'm gonna get this for $200. I'm gonna get it, and I missed it. I missed that, and I actually missed a Hotter Than Hell Camel, but I ended up finding it in my local record exchange. So. I was able to find the Camel label, but that one it missed me, and it was listed as a reprint or a misprint. I just didn't. I dropped the ball.
Well, I know you and I have discussed it privately many times, but I got both of my Live 2 misprints for $40.
I know.
I'm just telling everybody out there. So.
And I sold one for over $500. So
wow. I don't think they'll bring that now. What do you think?
I don't think anyone has ever brought that before.
Yeah.
The only reason why that brought that, I'm convinced, is because it was a copy of my book, and because I gave him the letter that said where that number 50 came from.
Interesting.
And again, I got the copy here somewhere. I've got to dig it up. We'll all talk about that.
We'll talk about that when we get to a Live 2. I have a guest in mind for a Live 2. You'll probably know who it is. He's international. I'm hoping he'll agree to come on, and hopefully we can get it worked out. But I'll talk to him about that later. So, all right. So we did the Elder.
It's a short one. It's a short one. I think I have a record in mind, or a set of records in mind for the next show. Maybe the next show should be a two-parter. What do you think?
I don't know.
Could be. We'll talk about it afterwards. So
I think I have some ideas.
As always, though, when we post this episode, part of your homework is to just suggest what you think we should do next, and we'll consider that. But we'll talk about it. We'll talk about what. So. All right. Oh, Morpheus.
Yeah, I hear that stuff, and I'm just like, what? I'm like, oh man. Because think about it. Think about this. I didn't experience this in real time. Obviously, I wasn't even born in '81.
Kiss our asses.
But so they had Dynasty, which I still really like a lot. Then they went to Unmasked, which was different than Dynasty, and I was like, what are they? And then they went from Unmasked to this, and I was like, what the? Why? Imagine if Creatures of the Night came after Unmasked. Imagine. Just imagine. They wouldn't have taken the makeup off.
It's funny. Anytime a Kiss book or anything Kiss comes out, especially Kisstory when I first got it, C.K. Lentz book when I first got it, Kiss Alive Forever when I first got it, the first thing I do is go to the Dynasty, Unmasked, the Elder, Creatures period, because that's the period I want to know the most about. The other stuff is so saturated, I want to know the most about that period. You know, that could have been 4 different bands making those records.
Could have been.
And that's what I find most intriguing about it, you know, that Kiss trying to find their way in a sea of all of this newness going on that was so different than what they were doing just 2 years prior. You know, I love it.
I just wish Bill Aucoin had written a book.
I do too,
really
man.
I do too.
The only thing I would fear about a Bill Aucoin book is that I fear that a lot of it would be embellished because maybe he didn't
Sure it would.
remember it, or you know, that's what I love about C.K. Lentz's book is you read it and you feel and you know that it's authentic, it's exactly what happened, and you know, I'm that fluff stuff. You know, the few times that I talked to Bill, it was so awesome, but you could tell he was just like, if he didn't know, he told you something about it anyway.
Yeah.
So, and God rest his soul, and thank him for everything. But you don't always get the straightest answer. So,
but that's everybody in the record business because they want you to always think that what they did was bigger than it actually was.
Right.
That's exactly right.
Everybody's not an accountant. You know, everybody. You know, so that are
Chris Lent was, and that's exactly what he said, Andrew. Everything was made to be bigger than what it was.
Right.
You know?
Right. That's why his book is one of my favorites by far. So
yeah.
All right. Okay. Is that it? Are we good?
I think that's it.
Yeah, I think music from the Elder, you know, one of our short ones, but you know, maybe you learned something, maybe you didn't. What versions did we miss? What versions do you have? And
I agree.
Yeah, there you go. Music from the Elder.
Music from the Elder. All right. See you next time.
See ya.